Kenya gets talked about like it's just a safari destination, a place to visit, maybe retire to one day when you've figured everything else out. But nobody talks about it like what it actually is, which is one of the most functional, underestimated financial environments on the continent. A place where your money doesn't just go further, it works differently. And if you understand how it works, you can build something here that you cannot build at home. I'm going to give you 10 things, 10 real things, the kind that nobody posts on travel vlogs or on expat forums, the things I had to learn by being here. Stay with me because number 5 is the one that will change how you think about everything. I'm Emro, and I am the founder of Relocate with Revenue. And I'm not talking about Kenya from a hotel room or from a research report. I live here. I bank here. I've sat across from Kenyan lawyers, bank agents, and business registrars. I've made the mistakes. I've also made the moves that work. This channel exists because most of the information about African relocation is either surface level lifestyle content or financial content that never touches the ground. I give you both at the same time. If that's useful to you, and if you are watching this, then it's probability intersecting with serendipity. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. I publish weekly, and every video gets deeper than the last. Your money goes further, but not in the way that you think. Everyone says this, but nobody explains the mechanism. Kenya's cost of living is low in categories that matter most for retirees: housing, food, domestic help, and transportation. But imported goods, electronics, phones, international school fees, they run close to Western prices. The arbitrage is real, but it's selective. A dollar here does not do 10 times the work. It does roughly 3 to 4 times the work if you live like a resident, not like a tourist. Last season, I did a video where I gave an overview of the M-Pesa payment system here in Kenya. You can watch this next, as I went over 10 reasons for choosing to move to Nairobi. But first, if you've heard me talk about M-Pesa, you might think I'm their brand ambassador, because I should be. But anyways, I digress. Let's clarify something. You probably think of M-Pesa as a way to send money. That undersells it by at least a decade. In Kenya, M-Pesa is how rent gets paid, how businesses invoice, how savings accumulate, how to pay for an airline ticket on a domestic and a national carrier, how to pay the government, how international transfers arrive. It's woven into the economy in a way unlike anything in the US, Canada, UK, or Australia. And that says a lot. As a relocated person, an expat, getting set up on M-Pesa is essential. It's not an option, it's infrastructure. And the learning curve is 1 day, not 1 month. Now, as the unofficial brand ambassador for M-Pesa, I'm going to do another deep dive into the entire system later on in the series. Now, this is the one that surprises people the most. In Kenya, you can buy titled land, leasehold in your personal name, and freehold under a company, a legally registered company. And for prices that you can only buy a parking space in Miami, Montreal, Manchester, or Melbourne. An eighth of an acre in a growing peri-urban area outside of Nairobi can cost between 15 to 100,000 US, depending on the location. Roka, Riru, Rongeri, Athi River, and Ongata Rongai, to name a few. This land appreciates, and you can build on it or rent it. And unlike financial instruments, it doesn't disappear when the market corrects. Kenya has a progressive tax treaty with Canada and the UK. However, in relations to the United States and Australia, it does not have a comprehensive tax treaty. That matters. It means that your Social Security pension, your retirement income, does not have an automatic treaty protection from double taxation. This is not a deal breaker. It's a planning problem. With the right structure, and I mean getting actual professional advice before you move, this can be resolved. By the way, I'm not here to give you tax advice, but it is one of the topics that we discussed during our one-on-one strategy session, because the number of people who discover this after they relocate is not small. Do your research before you move. Register in a business in Kenya, a limited company, a legally constituted business with a Kenyan company PIN, and ready to invoice. Currently takes about 3 to 5 business days and can be done even faster via the eCitizen portal. That's how long it took me to register my business here. The government has invested heavily into digitizing the registration process, and the cost is modest. I want to stop here for a second because this is where the list gets personal. I'm going to say this out of the kindness of my heart. Don't go to another country and open a business right away. You will be doing yourself a disservice. And I don't care if you have owned a business in the past. I don't care if it's in Montenegro or Malaysia or Malawi. Let me say it again. Do not go to another country and open a business right away. You need time in that said country to understand the system, to understand the climate and the people. I can't stress this enough. There are YouTubers out there inviting people to invest on the continent and in other countries to make money right off the bat. And I'm not saying that that's not a great idea to start a business, but not right away. Listen, you're setting yourself up for failure at best, and at worst, a world of hurt. This is why I say start where you are first, where you're familiar with the rules, with the practices, with the banking. This is why I built Relocate with Revenue. I see individuals selling the idea of investing and building abroad. And I'm not saying that this is not a good idea, but when the time is right. Don't chase opportunities. The right opportunities will come when you're in the right place. And that, my friend, is when you can fund your relocation to be in the right place and space to see those opportunities. I hope that this makes sense to you because, again, I've seen this and I've lived this, and it's not where you want to be. Income first, freedom forever. This is not just a motto, it's my North Star, and I give you permission to adapt it as your own principle. In the US, Canada, and the UK, you are an account number. In Kenya, it runs differently. Regardless of the bank, you can build a relationship with the bank manager who knows your name, your business, and your plans. Now, I'm not saying that this can't happen back at the ranch, but the likelihood of getting a meeting with your bank manager is highly unlikely until they start seeing funds landing into your account. And even then, when they come calling, it's likely to sell you a bank product. The relationships I've built here matter. When you want to open a business account, when you're navigating foreign currency transactions, or if you just need a letter of good standing, this is not the 1980s or 90s banking nostalgia on the continent. This is top-notch 2026 banking apps connected to M-Pesa for easy payment, easy transfers, and easy foreign currencies. Foreign currencies that are not sometimes available to you in your home country. Think of that. In the West, your pension and your Social Security defines the upper bounds of what you can afford. It's the ceiling. In Kenya, with the right plan in place, it becomes the floor, the foundation, the thing that covers the basics, while everything else grows on top of it. A digital product selling to a global audience, digital services offered to clients, then goes into maybe land purchase and appreciation, which funds maybe a small business here in Kenya for Kenyan income. These are the steps that you want to try to accomplish and you want to be able to put in place. That is the plan. That is the inversion plan that a lot of people never see. Nairobi has excellent private hospitals, Aga Khan, Coptic Hospital, MP Shah, and the Nairobi Hospital that provides quality care at a fraction of US cost. A specialist consultation that can cost you anywhere from $600 to $6,000 out of pocket in the US might cost you a fraction of the cost here in Nairobi. Think about that. And the best part is that the navigation is not a barrier. It's just a setup task. But my suggestion is to get international health coverage before you relocate. One of the fears that I hear most often from viewers from the comment section or people in my inbox is the question of isolation. What if I don't know anyone? What if I'm on my own? The community, the diaspora community in Nairobi is real, it's growing, and they're finding each other. Additionally, Kenya is quite multicultural. Nairobi especially. It's an intricate weave of yesteryear's colonial families and new families from all over the globe. People from Europe, Asia, North America, South Asia, and the Caribbean are right here in Nairobi, on the continent. I've met people from Nigeria, Congo, Cameroon, Togo, Ghana, any of the East African countries. This is a testament to Kenya and to Kenyans for the multicultural experiences that is afforded to foreigners here. And I will also say this personally, Kenya is truly unique. Kenyans are one of the most welcoming people that I have ever met, as in my travel experiences. And this is the true reason for choosing to relocate to Kenya. I focus on building friendships with my Kenyan family more than joining an expat group. That is where fellowship and community begins in my book. Now, I saved this one for last because it's the one that most people don't expect to find on a list like this. Most people treat Kenya as a future option, waiting for certainty, waiting until they understand the tax structure, waiting until they visited once, twice, maybe 3 times, until their children are settled, until the pension kicks in, until the market corrects, until. Here's what I've learned by being here. I've seen people arrive with a plan, not a perfect plan, but a real one, and they figure it out faster than they expected. The people who waited, well, they're still waiting. Kenya is not a destination for the certain. It's a destination for the decided. If you've just started thinking about that plan, and if you've got interests, but you're not quite sure, I made something for you. It's called the Relocation Toolkit, and it is the starting point I wish I had. It's a structured framework for thinking through the relocation readiness before you talk to a lawyer, before you pack a bag, before you book a flight, and before you make any irreversible decisions. It's practical, it's straightforward, and it tells you more about where you actually stand than 3 months of YouTube research. The best part, it comes with the Readiness Mirror AI tool. This is a plug-and-play AI tool that you load once into your AI of choice. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whichever AI you use. It will then guide you through a series of questions to help you gain clarity on whether relocation is right for you. The toolkit gets you started, and the link is in the description below. If you're not ready for this yet, bookmark this video or go to relocatewithrevenue.com and come back when you're ready. If you found this useful, if even 2 or 3 things on the list shifted how you're thinking about what is possible here, share it with a person in your circle who have been asking the same questions that you've been asking. Also, subscribe if you haven't already and click on the notification bell because the next video is going to change how you think about the dollar and not in a way that's comfortable. You'll want to be here for that one. I'm Emro. Stay free, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.